Welcome back, mama, or mama to be. You've made it to week 7, and if you weren't feeling pregnant last week, chances are you're probably feeling some changes by this week. Even though you might not look like you're pregnant yet, your uterus is already about the size of a lemon. That is massive in contrast to what it was before. Even though your uterus is expanding rapidly, your baby is still super tiny, about 10 millimeters in length, about the size of a little blueberry. So lots of changes have been happening just in these 7 days, and so much is about to change in the weeks to come. On that note, it's really good to stay active if you're an active person. If you're not a very active person, it's going to be really healthy for your body and baby if you start exercising. Start a new pattern, a new routine in your life that you can carry through until the end of your pregnancy and even into postnatal. Now, this might feel unnatural right now because you're probably feeling a little bit tired, a little bit more tired than normal. Also, if you weren't feeling it last week, you might be experiencing it now. Nausea. The dreadful nausea or morning sickness. During the first trimester, it's probably going to be the worst for you. Peak is around 8 to 10 weeks. You might also be feeling a heightened sense of smell. You might be feeling an attraction to certain kind of foods that are a little bit abnormal in contrast to what your diet was like before. And that's totally normal as the early stages of pregnancy continue. Just know where your limits are and how to moderate yourself because you don't want to throw your diet completely off balance. Stay tuned for the end of this video as I'll be including some things that you can do to help battle that nausea, help battle that fatigue, and start putting healthy things into your body that correspond with what's happening with your baby. Your little one is going through so many changes in its physical body right now. The kidneys are there, the liver and pancreas are starting to form, inner ears are beginning to form, nostrils, eyelids, as well as the eye lenses, mouth is beginning to form. Basically, all of the facial features are starting to form this week. The majority of its mass is its head. That means that its brain is growing faster than anything. Its nervous system is developing. The neural tube is formed. And brain cells are growing by a rapid 100 cells per minute. With that being said, we're going to dedicate today's practice to balancing the masculine feminine energies, balancing both left and right hemispheres of the brain, of our brains, and thus reflectively channeling that energy, that intention into our little one. Let's get started.
Join me seated on your mat with a large glass of water. I also recommend having a journal with you to take notes throughout this practice of poses that stand out to you, of subtle energies you might feel that are connected to your pregnancy, ideas, affirmations, anything important that comes up. Now pull the flesh out from beneath your sit bones so you can root down and connect better with the ground. Bring your hands to your knees. Close your eyes and dial the awareness in to your natural breath. Just notice where it enters the body, the sensations as it flows in, the transition, and as it flows out. Noticing the stillness, the simplicity, and any other sensations you feel within the body while focusing on the breath. Begin to deepen your breathing, taking in air through the nose and exhaling out the mouth, cycling the energy. The lungs of our little ones still have some time to fully develop. However, when we choose to breathe consciously, we are tapping in to the infinite energy that is flowing inside and outside of the body simultaneously, directing that healthy energy to our little one, our baby's development, through fresh, oxygenated blood. Begin to deepen your breathing, inhaling completely through the nose, filling the lungs with air, and exhaling out the mouth, slowly releasing. Allow the breath to flow and continue to focus on deepening and expanding Now, bring your awareness to all of the sounds that seem to be happening outside of the body. Just labeling them simply, and then moving on to labeling the next sound. Notice how, although these sounds seem to be happening outside of the body, we are detecting them inside of our bodies, in our inner ears, which are beginning to form in our little ones. And now let's bring our awareness to everything that you can smell and taste, labeling the sensations simply, and then moving on to the next. These sensations may seem subtle to us, for we've spent years growing used to them, but to our little ones, whose nostrils and mouth are just now beginning to form, these sensations will be quite strong. Now bring your awareness to everything that you can see underneath your eyelids. Any color, any light. And notice how, even though our eyes are closed, we're still able to pick up on light. Feel all of your facial features and all of the sensory perceptions that are connected to these facial features and now developing in our little ones. Bring your hands down to the mat, slightly behind you, and exhale, hinging at the hips, bowing forward, taking a moment of gratitude for all of these capacities to sense, feel, smell, see, taste. Gently blink your eyes open. And on your next inhale, turn the palms facing up and rise. Rise up with the arms until your palms touch overhead. Exhale, lower the palms in front of your heart in a prayer position, pressing the thumbs into the sternum. Taking a moment to check in with any sensations inside of the body, anything you'd like to shift throughout this practice. Inhale, rise up with the hands, turn the palms facing out. Exhale, sweep the arms down. Feel free to adjust the way that you're sitting by switching the cross of your legs or bringing your legs out in front of you. We will begin with a breathwork exercise. So take one hand and touch your thumb to your ring finger together. These two fingers are going to plug your nostrils. Thumb pressing up against one side, ring finger on the other. The index and middle finger will press into the forehead right above the eyebrows, right where the third eye would be. And we will be breathing in and out the nose. So unplug one nostril as you inhale, switch nostrils, exhale out the other nostril. Inhale through that same nostril, switch sides, and exhale. Inhale through that same side, switch nostrils, and exhale. Continue this process. As you breathe, switching nostrils, focus on the pressure with your index finger and middle finger in your third eye. Feel the differences between one side and the other as you breathe, balancing the hemispheres of the brain. Inhaling through one nostril, switching sides. Exhaling through the other nostril. Inhaling, switching sides. As you visualize focusing in on this third eye center, see yourself in peak physical condition, perfectly balanced. See yourself in peak mental emotional condition, perfectly balanced. And see your baby developing in its prime, peak, physical, mental, emotional balance. Take one more full breath on each side. On an exhale, relax your arms down onto your knees and take your first in-breath through your nose, through both nostrils, noting the differences. Now we'll get into a spinal warm-up. Grab onto your knees and inhale, pushing your chest forward and looking up to the ceiling or sky. As you exhale, press your hands into your knees and your chest over to one side. This should engage a stretch up through the lateral side, up through your side body. Then inhale forward again and press into your knees, pushing your chest to the other side, elongating the side muscles, your lateral muscles. And continue breathing as you move from one side to the other, seeing what kind of subtle adjustments you can make to explore different angles, different sensations. Keep flowing with your breath. Inhaling forward, exhaling to the side. Move at your own pace, just as long as you're moving with your breath. On this next side, instead of coming forward, move yourself all the way back, arching your back backwards to the other side and then forwards again. So you're making one big circle leading from the heart. Pause and reverse direction. Noticing the differences, moving in this direction in contrast to the last. And feel free to pause in any areas around this circle, giving a conscious breath to that space to release any excess energy, and then continuing to flow around. Make one more full circle around before spiraling up to center. Let's move our hands down to the mat beside us and inhale up with the right arm. Exhale, walk the left fingertips out a little farther and give yourself a side angle stretch. As you inhale, look up to the ceiling or sky, pressing the upper shoulder blade back. And exhale, see if you can come a little bit further down. Feel free to rest on your forearm on the mat. Breathing deeply, and on an inhale, rising back up to center. Exhale, switch sides, lowering yourself slowly, and then inhaling, looking up past your elbow, pressing that upper shoulder blade back. Exhale, relaxing further. And on an inhale, rising back up to center, both hands rise. Exhale, drawing the energy down through the midline, cleansing and clearing. Now bring your left arm out straight, pressing into the inside of your left knee. Right arm behind you, pressing up onto the fingertips, about 6 inches behind the spine. Inhale, straighten the spine. Exhale, twist. Twisting from the chest and upper body, shoulders, neck, head, and eyes. Take in a full breath. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, come back to center. Switching sides. Inhaling, pressing up into the fingertips, straightening the spine. Exhale, twisting from the chest, shoulders, neck, head, and eyes. Leaving space in the lower body. Notice any differences with this twist from the last. Take a deep inhale through the nose, and exhale, come back to center. Next, we'll get into the neck. Exhale and lower your head to one side, rolling it down in front and over to the other side. Inhaling up, exhaling down and in front of the body, over to the other side. Visualize as though you're drawing half a circle with the crown of your head. Inhaling to one side, exhaling through the motion, through the transition, and then inhaling up to the other side. As you come around to the other side again, don't pause, just flow into a full circle. Keep the crown of the head lifting away from the shoulders to not compress any vertebrae in the neck. And feel free to pause in any areas that feel extra tense, giving them a conscious breath, allowing them to relax a little further into the stretch. Let's reverse directions. Breathing as you flow. Inhaling up and back, exhaling forward and around. Let's do one more full circle, nice and slow, before spiraling back up to center. Whether you are sitting cross-legged or not, we're going to transition into sitting with our legs out straight in front of us for an awareness practice that circulates the blood flow. We'll start by wiggling out the feet and ankles, moving them both together. Moving the toes. Just focusing on the ankles, feet, and toes. Focus on one and then the other, and then them both together. Now bounce out your knees, gently. Bounce out one knee, bounce out the other knee, and bounce them both together. Now moving up to the hips, shaking out the hips, moving your tailbone and allowing that shake to happen all the way throughout the body, through your legs, rippling up, shoulders, head, and neck. Allow the waves, the ripples, to flow through the whole body, bringing a smile to your face, having gratitude for the capacity to move. Now coming back up to center, sitting up straight, pulling the flesh out underneath the sit bones. And let's bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together for a butterfly pose. Pull your feet in as close as feels comfortable, and then interlace your fingers around the outside of your toes. Inhale, straighten the spine, press your chest forward. Exhale, hinging at the hips, coming down, folding over your feet. Only fold as much as feels comfortable, but you definitely want to also feel a stretch. Push yourself. Use your breath to release any tension. Inhale, straightening the spine. Exhaling, seeing if you can relax a little bit deeper into the stretch. Feel free to use your elbows to press into your shins, pressing your legs open a little bit further. Breathing deeply. Exhaling, releasing tension. And inhaling, rising back up to a straight spine. Use your hands to pull your knees up and together, and then open your feet out wide towards the edges of the mat, and exhale, drop the knees to one side. Inhale up to center, exhale, drop them to the other side. Windshield wipering the legs. Feel the release in your hips, and breathe as you move. Now let's bend the legs even more, planting the feet into the mat, pressing into the hands and feet, coming into a frog squat. Turn to face me and press your elbows into the inside of each leg, opening the legs up, hands in a prayer position. If your heels are coming up off of the mat, feel free to put blocks underneath them or rolled up towels for extra support. Explore this pose by moving gently side to side, feeling the differences in the hips, using your breath to release any tension. Feeling the balance. Now we inhale and plant the hands into the mat out in front of you. Exhale, pressing into the feet, lifting up with the hips, straightening the legs as much as you can. It's okay to have a little bend in the knees. Feel the blood rushing to the head and the brain, fresh oxygenated blood. Bend the knees and slowly rise up to a standing position. Inhale, lifting the arms up overhead, palms touch overhead, and exhale, swooping the hands down, hinging at the hips for another forward fold. Bend the knees and inhale into a frog squat. Hands are still on the mat, looking up to the ceiling. Exhale, pressing into those feet, rising up with the hips, straightening the legs. Bend the knees. Inhale, rising up to a standing position again. Inhaling all the way up with the arms, palms touch overhead. And again, exhale, flowing through, hinging at the hips for a forward fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, frog squat, looking up to the ceiling or sky. And exhale, straightening the legs, rising up with the hips. Bend the knees. Inhale, lifting all the way up, arms rise, palms touch. And exhale, hinging down, swooping down, forward fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, back up into a frog squat. And this time, sinking a little bit deeper, feeling into those hips a little bit deeper. Bring your hands into a prayer, swaying your weight from side to side a little bit more. Feeling the differences now in your hips, low back, legs, and overall energy. Invite a deep, full breath into this flow as you sway side to side. And bring your hands down to the mat. Straightening the legs, lifting the hips up high, and walk your feet out just a little bit wider for a wide-legged forward fold. Keep your legs as straight as you can. A gentle bend in the knees is okay. Allow your body to hang loose, relaxing the arms and hands down onto the mat, relaxing the head and neck. Feel free to rock and sway tilting your hips from one side to the other. Press gently into the hands and walk your hands over to your right side, either grabbing your foot or the floor next to it, and lift up with your right arm, reaching up into the sky, following it with your gaze, and breathe. Take an inhale here, and exhale, lower that hand down to meet the other hand, and walk your hands over to the other side, either grabbing your foot or the ground next to it. Inhale up with the left arm, reaching those fingertips up into the sky, keeping an active reach as you look up past your fingertips. Take a full inhale here, and exhale, release that reach, bringing your hand back down to meet the other on the mat. Walk your hands to the middle, and walk your feet in a little bit closer to each other as well. For a regular forward fold, the feet are about shoulder width apart. Grab what you can, be it your ankles, feet, or ground, and pull your chest into your thighs, keeping your legs as straight as possible. Breathing deeply. Bend your knees, relax your arms, and take 3 slow breaths to peel your body all the way up, focusing on one vertebrae at a time. Slowly lifting, head and neck last. On an inhale, rise up with the hands, palms touch overhead. Exhale, draw the palms down to the heart center, pressing your thumbs into your sternum. Taking a moment to check in. Noticing any subtle sensations throughout the body, mind. And release the hands. Now we'll get into the Qigong part of this practice. Qigong is all done in a standing position, so get comfortable, and then we'll begin. To begin, we will start in what's called ready position. First, we'll put 2 fists together and measure out the space in between the toes and heels. Feet will be parallel. This measures out hip and shoulder width. Then lift up all 10 toes and begin swaying your weight around in small circles, bringing your awareness down to the pressure in the soles of the feet as you make circles all the way around, grounding and centering. Spiral your weight until you find a perfect center, where the weight is distributed evenly between both sides of the body. Inhale, lift up with the toes, and exhale, pinky to big toe, grip the ground. Take a moment to feel the connection with the ground. Always balanced, always supported. Moving up to the knees. Straighten your knees out, flexing your kneecaps up. And then exhale, relax your knees, gentle bend. Bring your hands up to the hips and scoop your pelvis under and forward. Imagine as though you have a pair of pants and you're zipping up from your pubic bone to your navel. Inhale, pull your navel in and up towards the spine, and exhale, relaxing everything else. Next, we'll inhale up from the heart center. Inhale, lifting the chest, pulling the shoulders back, and exhale, round the arms forward, like you're gently hugging a tree, palm facing palm connection, fingers open and relaxed. Next, we'll touch the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth and inhale up from the crown of the head as if your head is suspended by a string from the heavens. And then exhale, relax the head slightly back, chin to chest. This is ready position. Take a moment to allow your body to memorize this position, for it is what we will flow from with all of our other postures. We will begin cultivating qi between our hands by inhaling, opening the space in between the hands, and exhaling, pressing, contracting the space. The whole arms will move here. As you inhale, inflate, opening up, making space. Exhale, pressing on the space in between the hands. Fingers stay relaxed. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, contracting, condensing. Visualize as though every inhale pulls energy from the outside energy fields. Exhaling condenses that energy, formulating a ball in between your hands. Pulling in all qualities and aspects of reality that we would like to experience. Proper health, higher energy or relaxation, communication, anything you'd like to cultivate. Now take this ball of energy and pull it in towards your midline, inhaling as you draw this energy up and through, all the way up, lifting your hands up overhead. And exhale, turn your palms facing out, relaxing the shoulders and arms as the hands sweep down along the outer edges of the torus. Allow your breath to flow naturally. On an inhale, rise up with the hands through the midline, burning through any blockages within the physical, mental, emotional, releasing into the ethers, and exhale like smoke settling on water. This is the fire direction of toroidal breathing. So as you inhale, you can visualize a flame, fiery energy burning through your midline. And exhale, releasing any energy that doesn't serve, releasing it back to Mother Earth. Keep flowing with this breath. Inhaling, burning through blockages, releasing all of it. And exhaling, allowing it to settle and be recycled. Breathing fully, pressing the air out of the lungs on the exhale. And naturally inflating the lungs again. Toroidal breathing traces the outer edges of the torus, or primary feminine energy field of the body and being. Qigong enables us to connect and tune into these energy fields that are flowing simultaneously outside and inside of the body to harmonize our being. Inhale up to the heart center and exhale, press the energy down, reversing directions. Turn the palms facing out. Inhale, float the arms up. Bring your gaze up to your hands, and exhale, draw the energy down and through, washing and clearing, exhaling completely. Keep flowing. Inhale, float the arms up. This is the water direction, like water evaporating. Inhale, evaporate up into clouds. Exhale, rain it down, washing the mental, emotional, and physical energy centers. Keep the breath flowing, keep the movement flowing. This practice balances the masculine and feminine, the fire and the water energy of our beings. As you inhale, visualize qualities and aspects that you would like to cultivate. Looking up into the clouds, into the heavens, pull those qualities down. gifting them to yourself. And bring your hands over your lower dantian, right beneath the belly button, and check in. The lower dantian is our primary physical energy center, and it is also our center of gravity. In Qigong, this position is like prayer position over the heart in yoga. So take this opportunity to check in, feeling any differences in your physical, mental, and emotional being. Now let's come back into ready position, checking in with the posture. Only this time, instead of a palm facing palm connection, we're going to hold our hands out as if we're holding a tray. We've got to keep this tray flat, like we're going to serve food. Our thumbs are pointing in together while our fingers are pointing out. Inhale and scoop your hands down and out. Press on the energy and exhale, pull it in towards your lower dantian. Inhale, scooping out and away, pressing on the energy, and exhale, pulling it in. We're filling up our physical energy center with qualities that we would like to experience. So inhale and visualize those physical aspects of your being. Exhale, serving it to yourself, seeing yourself in optimal condition. Inhale, scooping out and away. Press and hold on that energy. Exhale, filling your physical energy center. Let's move it all up to the heart. Inhale, scoop out and away from the heart. Fingers are flat. Press on the energy. And exhale, filling your emotional energy center. Inhale, visualizing emotional qualities that you would like to cultivate. Press on that energy, hold it, and exhale, pulling it in towards you. Again. Inhaling, scooping down and out, visualizing emotional states of being that feel good, and exhale, feel them integrating into your being. Continue with this flow a few more times, focusing on the heart center, emotions that feel tranquil or exciting. Inhaling, feeling those experiences, fueling your heart center. Now moving up to the head, the mental energy center. Inhale, scooping the energy out and away, pressing and holding, and exhale, drawing energy into your mental energy center, your upper dantian. Inhale, scooping out and up, pressing and holding, and fueling, feeding, drawing energy into your mental being. Continue with this flow, breathing and visualizing mental qualities or experiences that stimulate the mind. The 3 dantians work in unison. They're also known as the triple warmer. Keeping all 3 in balance serves all of our internal organs and all of our external relationships in greater harmony. Do a few more breaths for the mind. Think of it as more than a breath, but a fueling and feeding with experiences that you would like to have. On this next exhale, sweep everything through the mental, emotional, and physical energy centers. Then bring your hands over your lower dantian to check in. We will finish this practice with a centering exercise. So bring your hands palm facing up in front of you. Lower your left hand and scoop it back and away, up as you inhale. And exhale, draw your flat hand down through the center, where it meets the other hand, palm facing up. Drop the right hand, scoop it back and around, inhaling all the way up, and exhale, bringing it down through the center. Repeating on the left side. Bring your gaze to follow your hand. Exhaling down through the center. This exercise is great to use as a closing exercise for any Qigong practice, as it balances and centers the right and left hemispheres of the brain and the right and left sides of the body. Continue flowing one side and then the other, inhaling as you draw up, exhaling as you center everything down. Feel the differences between each side, if there are any differences. Visualizing yourself in complete balance and harmony. Bring your hands over your lower dantian, where you check in one final time. Take note of anything that's shifted within your physical body, within your mental, emotional body. Feel the certainty and connection you have with your body. Relax your hands down and begin to walk in place, releasing the energy from the feet and the ankles. Move intuitively. Allow the movement to flow through wherever it needs a little bit more movement in the body. Shoulders, hips, knees, neck. And let's inhale, rise up with the hands, palms touch overhead. Exhale, draw the hands down into a prayer position in front of your heart, where we take a moment of gratitude for the balance that we have and the balance that we are growing for ourselves and our babies. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Grab a drink of water and we'll see you in week 8.
Well done, Yogi Mama. It's time to go over some things that you can do to help battle that nausea, help battle that fatigue, and start putting healthy things into your body that correspond with what's happening with your baby. First and foremost, let's talk about that fatigue. If you have the capacity to take naps, definitely do so. Also, another thing that'll help with getting better sleep throughout the night is practicing a little bit of yoga before bed. Even some bedtime yoga. It's completely cool to be in your bed practicing yoga poses right before going to sleep. Personally, what I've found what helps with getting to sleep and having a much more sound night's sleep is if I eat before I go to bed. This gives me a sensation of feeling like my tummy is full, so it kind of keeps that nausea aside throughout the entire night. It might help for you. Try it and let me know what you think in the comments. On that note of the nausea, here are some things that I didn't mention before. In the week 6 video, I mentioned that a couple of the ways in order to battle the nausea is to eat smaller, more frequent meals throughout the day, as well as eating more carbohydrates to soak up any of the excess stomach acid that might be making you feel nauseous. Now, here are some techniques that I have personally found that have helped massively with my nausea, because it seems like for me, every time my stomach gets empty, or even the slightest bit empty, like it's finished digesting its meal, I start to feel a little queasy again, like I feel like I need to eat something more, or maybe just go do something else to get the nausea aside. And that is key. If I can keep my mind active and not think about the nausea so much, that helps to get rid of the nausea. It's kind of like a mental trick. I have personally found that when I think about getting sick, it encourages me to get sick. If I sit around and treat myself in a way that's like, oh, I'm not really feeling so good, so I'm gonna take it easy, that will prolong the feeling of nausea. So what I've been doing is I've been getting up and going and doing something else. For example, if I have a project that I've been thinking about, I'll go act upon it. Anything really, like you don't have to think about it much, and please don't overthink it. Just get up and go do something. Go for a walk, go explore a little bit of your neighborhood, go on a little bike ride, have a conversation with somebody that you haven't talked to in a while. Keeping your mind active like this is going to be key for helping to prevent the nausea from happening. If your body needs to purge, like if there is toxicity in your stomach that your body absolutely needs to get rid of, it's gonna get rid of it. Trust in that and don't resist it. Another thing that will help too is giving your body the foods that it feels like it needs when you're craving it. I highly recommend that you start keeping a journal throughout these weeks of your pregnancy so that you can start tracking what particular foods your body is craving, what particular foods you're giving to your body throughout the day, and then you can start to look at what your body might be missing out on. Like if you need a little bit more iron or if you need a little bit more of these, then you can start implementing those things into your diet so that it becomes more well-rounded and wholesome.
For healthy brain development, it's important that your body is getting enough omega-3 and folic acid. These nutrients can be found naturally in whole foods and cooked foods. Let's go over some foods rich in omega-3. Fish and seafood is probably going to be the highest amount of omega-3 that you can find within one food group. However, you can also find omega-3 in flaxseed, chia seed, walnuts, and soybeans. There are many foods that contain folic acid. We'll start with legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, and other fortified grains. There's also eggs, beets, citrus fruit, banana, avocado, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, kale, and spinach. Even some breakfast cereals are high in folic acid. Also, make note, roasted red bell pepper paste is one of the best superfoods your body can have. As you can see, the majority, if not all of the nutrients our bodies need, is found naturally occurring in foods. So just pay attention to what you're craving, what you're giving your body, and what nutrients are found within those foods for a healthy pregnancy, birth, and beyond. We'll see you in week 8. And in every week as we continue along this week-by-week prenatal series.